So good morning, everybody, and welcome to the fifth annual report from Mayor Dwight Jones. This is the fifth year in a row that we're hearing from Mayor Jones, and we're excited about that. My name is Brian Harding. I am the chair of the Richmond Business Council, one of the four advocacy arms of the Greater Richmond Chamber. We call ourselves the grassroots arm of the Chamber because we're comprised of a subset of local business leaders and community leaders within the city and support the jurisdiction. We not only care about succeeding in our own personal and professional endeavors, but in contributing to the success of the city and the region as a whole. If I could, if the folks from the Richmond Business Cabinet, if you could just please stand up, I'd appreciate it. I also want to make sure that I announce some folks that are going to be joining our ranks. Kyle Baker from Priority Corporate Housing, Mike Gray from Commonwealth Partnerships Group, Jeff Nelson from Strategic Staffing Solutions, Rand Robbins from Spots Vane, Ann Schusler from Clarity Consulting, and Casey Werdeman from Capital Results. So thank you guys for stepping up and giving back to the Richmond region starting in July. And in July, I'll be thankfully handing over the gavel to Jeff Fitch from Sports Backers. So Jeff, we're looking forward to that. And then lastly, Haider Sharifi from Morgan Stanley, one of the best financial advisors in town, that's going to be stepping up as chair-elect. So thanks again for your leadership, Haider. I'd also like to take a quick moment to recognize some special guests we have this morning. From the 4th District, City Councilwoman Kathy Graziano. We also have the Mayor's Chief of Staff, Suzette Dinslow, here as well. Okay. And I think Charles just showed up. Thank you. We're also blessed this morning to have Dr. Yvonne Brandon with us from Richmond Public Schools. We have Patrice Lewis here from Senator Warner's office. And we also have Ty Davenport from Senator Kane's office. And lastly, but certainly not least, we have Kim Sheeler, President and CEO of the Greater Richmond Chamber, who I'll introduce in a moment, as well as Doug Roth, the current chair of the Greater Richmond Chamber. So although she couldn't join us this morning, I wanted to take a quick moment to recognize the Chamber's Volunteer of the Month, Nancy Thomas. Nancy is the current president and CEO of the Retail Merchants Association. She's known for her positive attitude and dedication to the region's business community. She's a former small business owner herself, serving as the owner and operator of The Arcade and as a co-owner for Turnkey Interiors. For the past year, Nancy has been a key source of support for the development of the Richmond Liberty Trail. If you haven't seen the blue markers all over the city, then watch where you're stepping and follow them, which is inspired by the Chamber's Inner-City visit to Boston last year. So one great thing that came out of that. During all our volunteer trail application in April, Nancy was among the first to volunteer to lead one of the 27 teams. Nancy and her RMA team also work closely with Chamber staff on projects to impact local businesses. The two teams most recently have been working on Richmond 2015 organizers to help small businesses maximize the International Cycling Event's economic impact. It's very important for our constituents to know how they can engage that event and support their businesses. Nancy believes that it's important for the RMA to be a good collaborative partner so that we can better serve all of our member businesses. So thanks again to Nancy. And then lastly, I get the pleasure to invite Clark Lewis up. We're grateful for Troutman Sanders. This is an amazing facility with certainly a beautiful view. And they're even sponsoring our parking, which is really great, so thank you. But Clark is a partner here at Troutman Sanders and is going to say a few words on behalf of Troutman.
Thank you. Again, my name is Clark Lewis, and I'm a partner in Troutman Sanders and also a principal in Troutman Sanders Strategy, which is a government affairs affiliate at Troutman Sanders. Mr. Mayor and council members, invited guests, we'd really appreciate y'all being here today. Troutman Sanders has had a long history and a great experience in the city of Richmond and the Commonwealth of Virginia. I'm joined today by our firm, our Richmond managing partner, John West, who's with us, and I think all of y'all know Neil Kessler, who's one of your board members, who's been a long member and supporter of the board. Troutman Sanders is an international law firm with offices located throughout the United States and China. As I mentioned, we've been part of the Richmond community since 1926. Many of you, including myself, may remember that we were Mays and Valentine till our merger with Troutman Sanders in 2000. I myself, John, and I believe Mr. Kessler have been with the firm and practicing in Richmond our entire legal careers. And so we're very familiar with Richmond and all the great things it has to offer. Troutman has about 605 lawyers throughout the United States and China. 101 lawyers are in our Richmond office, so a very robust group of practicing lawyers. In this very beautiful office, we have offices and floors on 10, 11, 12, 14, and 15, which is also known as 5 floors. I encourage you to take a look at the beautiful views when you finish today, the river view looking south, beautiful views looking east. It's a great, great view, and it's a great office to be in. Some of the practice areas that we have are business law, energy, regulation, finance, litigation, and real estate. And as you would expect, our commitment to the Richmond area is substantial, not only in our legal practice, but the very charitable organizations that we are involved in, such as the Symphony, SCAN, YWCA, Children's Hospital, and the Cystic Fibrosis Foundation, and many, many more. One of the big things I think our building offers is what my daughter introduces me as is, I work in the building with the WWBT traffic scan. You know, I don't know if y'all see it every morning, but that's the Troutman Sanders building and the camera there. Well, now you are in the building, and we are actually on Browns Island, and this is Haxel Point. And so it's a great opportunity and a great place to be and a great place to work. A lot of great things through a lot of the leadership in this room has happened and is happening in this area. And again, as you leave, I encourage you to look at the Reynolds site that's being transformed. We watched it over the past year. It has been truly remarkable to see the apartments come to life, Casa del Barco and other restaurants coming in, and the Locks apartments developing. And I just think that's a true testament to the great things that the city of Richmond has and how fortunate we are to be here and have you with us today. And thank you again, Brian. We appreciate it.
I don't know if anyone else in the audience ever gets this question, but I work for UPS, so sometimes I get the question, where's Haxel Point? And I always say it's the Troutman Sanders building. So thanks again, Clark. We appreciate your hosting us this morning. So before I turn over the mic, I want to bring your attention to the pamphlets that are at your table. The Mayor's Youth Academy is looking to place 50 students at local businesses for 6-week internships this summer. The program is directly in line with our education initiatives to support the development of a strong future workforce. It's a paid internship, minimum wage for each student, so that's roughly $1,500 for the summer. Chamber members like Dominion and Kings Dominion have already stepped up to help in this effort. We'd like to see more and more members come on board each year. So if you can host a student, or if you can't host a student, you can support the program in other ways. And those ways are bulleted on the back of your pamphlet. You can also talk to Dana for more information, and maybe the mayor will be so kind as to speak a little bit on that as well. Lastly, I started by introducing folks from the cabinet. We are always interested in folks that are willing to engage with us, with the city. We have spaces available for folks that want to volunteer for our government affairs committee, our education committee, and our outreach committee, and ultimately on the cabinet. So if you or anyone in your firm have interest in that, please see Dana as well. And lastly, just to kind of precursor, keep tuned on your emails. We should have another event like this for City Council coming up here in the next couple of months. So with that, I'll hand it over to Kim.
And I'll try to stay out of Dana's way, who does all the work. Thank you, Dana. Brian, thanks for your leadership. You've done a great job with the RBC over the past year. And I have to say that I have been incredibly impressed with how you guys have stepped up and really gotten engaged and worked on issues in the city and gotten your volunteers involved. So thank you for your leadership, and thanks for helping to make that happen. Also, one other quick note on the Mayor's Youth Academy. You know, we hear from a lot of businesses that one of the challenges they have with new hires is the soft skills, that a lot of these young folks come into the workplace and don't know how to interact, don't know how to deal with people. They want to text instead of talk. They don't respond to voice messages, they just call you back. So getting some of these folks engaged, bringing them into your business at an early age and letting them be an intern is a great way to help them learn some of those skills and help educate them. And it's a good process for us and a great way to help build some future employees for you. So if you don't want to do it just because it's the right thing to do it because it's a selfish thing to do and it's going to help your business down the road. And I really encourage you to step up and take a look at this. I know they've made some changes to the program over the last couple of years to make it easier for you to be engaged in it, and I think it's really important that we all step up. And we're going to be bringing an intern into the chamber this summer, so we want to make sure that we do what we say and walk the walk. So encourage you all to step up and do that. It is my pleasure this morning to introduce our mayor to you for his annual report to the chamber. He was the co-chair of our inner-city visit this year, and I'll say we've been on 21 inner-city visits now. And an observation that I think most of us would bring back from those visits is that when we look at what makes a region strong in other parts of the country, it clearly starts with a strong city. I don't think we've ever been someplace that we've seen them perform well, that the city hasn't been the center of that focus. And we heard that over and over again in Denver. They were probably the epitome of that example. And I'm pleased to say that what I see happening in Richmond is moving us in that direction of really having a strong city. The things that the administration and the city council have been working on and that they put in place to focus on economic development in the city, to build a stronger education system in the city, to make it easier to live and get around in the city, and to focus on decentralizing some of the pockets of poverty are all things that are going to make this city even stronger as we go forward. And I'm really excited about the fact that both the mayor and council have reached out and engaged the chamber and the business community in helping with this effort. So it's my pleasure to introduce to you this morning the second mayor of the city of Richmond, Mayor Dwight Jones. And Mayor, please take it away.
Well, good morning, everyone. I'm so happy to be here today, and thank you so much, Kim, for all you do. You've been a wonderful asset to the city of Richmond and leading the chamber. And Brian, thank you for your leadership as well. And Doug, good to see you. And Clark, you told us to look around and take in the wonderful ambiance of this building. And I tell you, I think I'd like to move here and let you go to City Hall. This is an absolutely beautiful facility. Glad to be with the President of Council, Mr. Samuels, and Kathy. Where's Kathy? I heard she was here. There's Kathy Graziano. They've been wonderful partners in this journey as we try to build the best Richmond. And so I want to thank you for being here this morning, and it's my pleasure to be able to greet you. I think this is the fourth or fifth time I've had the opportunity to give an annual report to you, and I look forward to checking in with you every year. The last time I met with you, I wasn't clear about who your next mayor would be. In May of last year, I hadn't announced, but here we are for a second term, and so you've got me for 4 more years. And I'm grateful for all of your support. I'm going to update you on some of the city's business. Presently, we're in the midst of budget preparations. City Council is working on the budget that I presented to them, and you have let us know what your priorities are, and we're sure that we will come forth with a budget that you will be pleased with. But I just want to talk a little bit about the city and the excitement that I feel and the excitement that I know you feel about what's going on in the city. Clark talked about some of the exciting things that are happening here in Browns Island, Haxell Point, but all over the city, great things are happening, and I hope that you're excited about the wonderful enthusiasm that people have and the pride that people have in the city of Richmond. When I was running for the office of mayor the first time, people would say, you know, Richmonders have an inferiority complex. But I think we've gotten rid of that. And I think that we're becoming very proud of the fact that we're Richmonders, and we're proud of the good things that are going on in our city. Just yesterday, we conducted a hard hat tour with the media of the Washington Redskins training facility, and Tim from the Timmons Group, I believe, is here today. And many of you have helped us to get this to where it is today. And we're very proud to tell you that this facility is on time, on schedule, and will open on July 8th, and the training camp will begin on July 28th. And yesterday, we had the opportunity to meet the press, but it wasn't just local press. We had press from 40 media outlets: Central Virginia, Washington, Hampton Roads, ESPN, the Associated Press, radio networks, TV networks, cable networks, magazines, newspapers, and photographers were here from all over. And it's just an indication of the kind of brand that we're building in the city of Richmond that is attractive not only to us, but people are recognizing the great things that are happening here in the city. It was an exciting day for the city, and in my estimation, it's only a continuation of the good news that we have been the center of over the last several years. My take on this is that everybody's beginning to realize that Richmond is a precious jewel, and we already know that, but now people are beginning to find that out all over. And I'm just glad that I'm able to help spread the word and to advance the city as we move the city forward. In the past few years, the city of Richmond has been a popular conversation piece for national and international news outlets, from being named Hoopstown, USA, to winning the 2015 UCI World Championship location, to the filming of Lincoln, and of course, as we just mentioned, the Washington Redskins Summer Training Camp. Richmond has been featured, as you well know, in many publications: New York Times, the Washington Post, featured on television, CNN, ESPN, and often we're highlighted in magazines such as Southern Living and The Atlantic. And every year we accumulate more and more accolades for being the best city to live, work, and play, retire, the best city to be a working mother, to paddle, commute, make movies, or get a tattoo. And so we're very happy about all of the great things that are going on in the city of Richmond. And if you haven't already, I'd like to invite you to visit our new economic community development website, yesrichmondva.com, and check us out. There are so many highlights that I could bring to you. And on that site, we have several videos that you'll enjoy: general business attraction, creative capital, transportation and logistics, and working capital. Am I doing something wrong? Okay, okay, all right, very good. But today I want to show you a video. Okay. All right, she's right on the spot. But today I want to show you a video about some of the things that are going on in the city, and so let's watch.
Downtown Richmond is a vibrant, creative, and growing community, and it's part of a decidedly pro-commerce state and indeed region.
If you work in this district of Carytown, you can walk from your home right to your office. If you live downtown Richmond, you can go out, have a morning run on the river, and the next thing you know, you're at your office in 10 or 15 minutes. So really, the neighborhoods give you any kind of lifestyle you would choose to live. And it gives a lot of diversity and opportunity for interesting neighborhoods and for interesting lifestyles.
We really decided that being in the city of Richmond was going to be very important to us, not only because we wanted to be part of the strength of this region in terms of being in the heart. We wanted to have good access to transportation, be accessible to our clients all over the state, and we wanted to be in a busy area where we could attract young, vibrant minds to really build our practice here.
Carytown has evolved as an urban boutique retail shopping corridor probably over the last 25 years.
There's everything from vintage clothing to elegant attire, from entertainment such as the Bird Theater.
There's a lot of great interesting things to do here in Carytown. And the good thing about Carytown is we're open to a wide variety of the market in all age groups and different income levels. From things like the Watermelon Festival that attracts so many people from within the city to outside the state that it will affect everybody in the community.
Chaco Slip is different. I compare it to other bigger cities, some of the really cool, creative areas of the bigger cities, and we have that here in Chaco Slip. It just attracts a lot of young people and young energy and lots of creativity.
They want to spill out of their office into a place where people are already having a good time. So for us, the software company, the software business belongs in Chaco Bottom, and I'm sure will always be in Chaco Bottom.
The boulevard was attracted to us because of its location. It's close to 64 and 95, surrounded by some great upcoming neighborhoods. We have Scott's Addition right behind us, North Side, the Fan, the near West End, and of course the Flying Squirrels is close by, and the Science Museum.
Scott's Addition was a perfect fit for us because not only could we find an old historic building that we could put our own vision, our own architectural spin into, it was affordable. We found that this was a very central location, very easy to get anywhere we needed to go, very easy for our clients to find us, and also easy for young up and rising architects to find exciting live-work accommodations as they join our firm and you know, become full-blown architects themselves.
When artists and art galleries move into a part of a city, it becomes more desirable. And that has happened on Broad Street.
One great thing about our neighborhood is the proximity to VCU. You've got students and faculty that shop with us and come and dine in our neighborhood, and it's also kind of in the heart of the city. I mean, it really is the gateway to Richmond.
Jackson Ward is very strategically located. One, because of its age, and two, just because of where it is. We're directly next to the Richmond Convention Center. We're directly next to the Biotechnology Park. We're directly next to one of the largest universities in the state of Virginia, if not the largest, which is Virginia Commonwealth University.
Well, you know, Manchester was originally an industrial area, so it's a lot of manufacturing facilities and warehousing facilities that recently have gotten a resurgence. They've been renovated into apartments, renovated into condos. The business community's moving down there.
It's been really, really exciting just to see some of that come to fruition. To see the residential that's being built into the neighborhood is really kind of exciting. To see Hull Street come back in the way that it's coming back. To see other services like law firms and accounting firms and creative folks come into the community. It's been a lot of fun to watch, and it's been fun to be a part of that.
Richmond's a great place for business. We're a reasonably sized business, a $40 million a year business, and I can't imagine wanting to do business anywhere else. We've got all the amenities we need. We have all of the great business support from Richmond, from the Commonwealth of Virginia. It's the best place to do business in America. So it's a great place to live, great educational opportunities. Everything that an employer and an employee needs is right here. Great places for people to stay. And then, of course, probably the best part, now living here, it's a great place to live.
And so I think you can see that we have a lot to think about as you think about growing and expanding your own business, that Richmond is a great place to live and work and to do business. And as mayor, over the past 4 years and entering into the second term, we've been working hard to do a lot of good things to make the story even better. We've been building new schools, we've been helping local businesses expand, and we've been raising the level of workforce preparedness and the quality of life and educational opportunities for our citizens. And I'm very happy to report that we've made great progress. Having the benefit of this additional time in office gives us a chance to focus on some of the longer-term goals that we have for the growth and expansion of the city as we seek to build the best Richmond. As I mentioned to you a little bit earlier, we're in the throes of budgeting for the years that are to come, and it's been extremely challenging, as Charles and Kathy Graziano will share with you. because we continue to face budgeting gaps. You who are in business recognize the difficult economic times that we've been in, and one of the things that I've had to face since being mayor is that I've never had a year when I have not had to close a fiscal gap. This year was $33 million. I'm hoping that one of these years I'll be able to see some growth and not have to go through the process of closing gaps. We have been doing that, however, in a strategic way, and we've been doing it in a way that will prepare us for growth when growth does occur. And for this budget cycle, we've put a lot of energy and effort into engaging the community and making sure that our budgetary priorities are the budget priorities of the community. We've been in all 9 councilmatic districts to hear what people have to say, and the budget that we presented to council was a result of those discussions. We're continuing to invest in projects that remain a priority in terms of capital projects. Riverfront development is moving forward. Projects designed to increase our tourism potential are advancing. The Landmark Theater, UCI 2015, these preparations are going on as we speak, and improvements to our port. Over the next 5 years, we're going to invest $20 million for street resurfacing projects, $3.3 million for sidewalk projects, $4.4 million for bridge improvements, and $33 million for an emergency communication system for all jurisdictions. And when you hear that we don't have regional cooperation, look at that $33 million that we're putting in, and Chesterfield and Henrico will put in a like amount, so that we'll be able to have an emergency communication system that will allow us to talk to each other across jurisdictional lines. We're also proposing $21 million for a new school in Dove Court. This is a part of our effort to provide an anchor for a major neighborhood that we are in the process of revitalizing. And with all of the exciting things that are going on, it's not good, or sometimes I hate to have to mention this, but it's extremely important that we recognize that while all of these wonderful things are happening, we still have a city where a quarter of the residents here live in poverty. And we have to address that. And my administration is the first administration to take that on as a priority. The mitigation of poverty is extremely important to me, and I really believe that we cannot succeed fully as a city until we deal with the issue of poverty. We've got to deal with it comprehensively, and we cannot just deal with it by putting a Band-Aid on it. And to that end, we've got Creighton Court and Whitman Court in the pipeline in terms of work on deconcentrating poverty. We believe that great neighborhoods are neighborhoods where you have mixed income housing, a great school, and a great community center. And we are working to make sure that these neighborhoods have those 3 things in them. I'm hoping that we'll get the necessary support so that that will allow us to have new paradigms in this regard. We know that education is important to you, and I see Yvonne Brandon with us today. She has announced her retirement. I think you ought to give her a round of applause for having done a good job. She has spent more than 30 years doing a difficult job, working with young people in a difficult situation, and as she sails off into the wonderful days of retirement, we wish her the best. And we know that she will have great things to do in her new life as a retired superintendent. The Chamber was instrumental in supporting the work of the schools task force that I named last year, and I want to thank you again for that, Kim, and all of the members of the Chamber who were part of that work. And since that time, we've seen the election of essentially an entirely new school board, and there's presently a search for a new school superintendent. And what I believe about this new school board is that they are ready for transformation and to make the decisions that will bring about that transformation, and so I'm encouraged about that. We're also investing in job readiness programs. Upgrading workers' skills is a must, and through a new pilot project utilizing our workforce pipeline program, we're going to combine the efforts of our workforce development program and the State Virginia Initiative for Employment called VIEW. In other words, we're going to prepare persons who are receiving assistance for jobs that are in existence and prepare them to move up the ladder to get good jobs in the city, and not just jobs that say that they're working, but jobs that will allow them to have a good middle-class lifestyle. And so as I close, I just want to underscore what's been happening in the city is very different today, and we believe that we are riding the crest of great enthusiasm and great success. There's a lot going on, a lot that you're proud of, a lot that I'm proud of, and often in the headlines you only see the coverage of our challenges, but I'm very happy to have the opportunity to come here today and tell you a little bit about some of the things that are good about the city of Richmond. When I took office, the population of the city of Richmond was below 200,000, and we understand today that the estimates are 210,000, which means that the city is growing even as we speak. More people are finding out that Richmond is a great place to live, a great place to work, and a great place to raise a family. When I talk to people who are moving from other locations, they're pleasantly surprised that Richmond is such a livable city. I see Ned over there. He always talks about, John Luke always talks about how the people at Meade-West-Vaco are so happy to have moved here. And that is not just Meade-West-Vaco, that's all of the people that I talk to in restaurants all over the city. People tell me about how wonderfully pleased they are with the city of Richmond. And so for growth and expansion, you could not be in a better place. And we hope that you will continue to be our partner, and we want to be your partner, and we look forward to your cooperation with us as we continue to build the best Richmond. So thank you very much for allowing me to come today. Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mayor, not only for your time, but also for helping build a world-class city. This is a small token for your time this morning.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. It's really a pleasure. For the Chamber each year to provide the members an up-close and personal view of the city each year. And in reflecting on the Mayor's comments, we certainly have our share of obstacles ahead of us. The Mayor talked about some gaps, especially the economic climate, but we have an awful lot to be optimistic about. The Mayor touched on so many positive attributes regarding life in the city that we enjoy here in this great community, and it's really exciting to look ahead. Just this coming July at the Great Redskins Training Facility, obviously the 2015 World Cycling event is not that far off in the distance. We also have a growing creative class. The Mayor touched on the proposed revitalization of several neighborhoods, and really a keen focus on improving our education system as well as the job readiness program. So as many of you read in the Times-Dispatch over the weekend, the city and the Chamber are focused on recruiting and retaining young professionals, and we believe Richmond has what it takes to be a hub for young professionals. So we encourage you all to stay tuned, be part of that process, and help us continue to make Richmond the great city that it is. So again, Mayor, thank you for your time this morning. Also want to thank our sponsors this morning, Troutman Sanders, Clark, and John, and Neil. Appreciate you hosting. Hopefully some of you can stay around a little bit for some coffee and Danish and a great view of the city, and maybe move in for a little while. So again, make sure you pick up your free parking pass on the way out, and I hope you all have a great week. Thank you very much for coming.